Okay, Grief Ephemerate against Yorion, double Ephemerate even. I'll keep. Okay, so what are you cascading into? What am I missing? What are you cascading into? I literally don't see a spell to cascade into. Is this just trolling me? Oh, Fae of Wishes. So you cascade into Fae of Wishes, and then you wish for spell shifts. It's pretty deep. It's pretty deep. Oh, so this is the old rule. I see. It doesn't even work anymore because of the Tibble change. Well, big rip, I suppose. Yeah, I don't have any insight, but rest in peace, spell shift. What next? I can feel like safe to invest in paper for modern. This is not a investment stream, unfortunately. I don't know. I don't like to comment on finances anymore, just because people get a little weird champ about it. Since occasionally cards I play, decks I play spike in price, so people will be like, Spike, what cards to buy? And this is just not a place to find that kind of advice, unfortunately. Interested in playing the Watery Turns deck? I've got a little bit of interest, yeah. I don't know how much, though. What cards not to buy? Risen Sanctuary, probably. Because I already bought all the copies of Risen Sanctuary. Control for days. Dagger in the heart. Thank you for the resub. The class to resubscribe after crushing me. You made millions off Flagstones? I bought 12 copies of Flagstones when I was playtesting the Just Guy Wildfire deck and really liking it. And I never sold any of them. I gave one playset away. I still have the other 8 copies. Would it not be better to wait until their draw step? Could be. Yeah, it's maybe better. I think you could convince me of that. It's a lot of prismatic endings, huh? The Flex is good from 5 to 20 distant because of me. Well, I was playing that Just Guy Wildfire list. It was really, I like that list a lot. It was also like, it wasn't just me though. Like Fran was also playing the Elvish Reclaimer with Flagstones. But yeah, if I ever buy cards, I'll disclose it. I think Flagstones was the last card I bought a bunch of. I also am really bad about like, I'll do this a lot where I'll buy a card because I think it's good and then I'll never sell it. Like, I bought like 50 Karn the Great Creators or something when they were like $2 each. I still have every single one. It's a bit harder because you don't have like GPs to go to vendors and stuff. Getting Mending there. Yeah, but at least we own the cards, you know. That's what really matters. Pending the grief. I think I'll cast this from hand, just because if I find Persist and not a land, I'll get to Persist the Archon. Oh, I forgot to discard the Archon. I'll discard it this next time. Promised you bought 20 extra cards ends up being unplayable. I remember when I was first getting into Magic, I bought like I remember I probably bought like 20 copies of Boon Satyr, thinking Boon Satyr would be like this. I thought Boon Satyr was broken. I think I actually did, like, I made maybe like $1 each on those Boon Satyrs, but Boon Satyr was not, in fact, broken. I think I'm gonna hold the Archon. I might hardcast this game. Not that far away. Thought Monitor and Blue-White Hammer, do you think it's viable? Maybe. I've been thinking more about blending the Affinity and Hammer Time archetypes. I think that there is something there, yeah. Got a Solitude. Yeah, Boon Satyr did see decent standard play, but I thought it was gonna be just like so broken. 30 Dream Eater. I don't think I've got any like. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've got any other like super crazy specs that didn't pan out. But I don't do it that often. I haven't done it in a long time. I think Boon Satyr was like probably my biggest early one. What matchup is Emissary for? Hammer Time mostly. You can bring it. It's like Hammer Time, tribal decks in general, elementals. No! Oh wait, sorry. No, sorry. I wanted to hold the Archon to hardcast. I mentally thought that, then I just totally forgot. They can't quite hardcast the Solitude. Conspiracy theorists? I didn't buy any conspiracy theorists. Picked up a few Death Threat Shaman, always hoping for it to get unbanned. Excuse me. Legal and Pioneer. Sorry for the snarly cough. Legal and Pioneer, though. I usually cut my endings in this matchup. Trim on Solitude. Like 3 Thoughtseize. Yeah, Legal and Vintage. Legal and EDH. Does Shaman hit all opponents in EDH? Probably not that relevant. Could put 1 Merchant Scroll on the deck to build it that way. Yeah, you can. But what happens if you Primal Surge into it, though? If you naturally draw the Spell Shift, then you lose, right? I guess you can very consistently cascade into it, though. If you don't bring in 4 Thoughtseize here, when do you? Tron, Titan, Belcher, Blue-White Control. Opponent's mulled to 5. Blue-White, Urzblade, Thopter floating around. My biggest thought on that archetype is that the Thopter Sword combo is not that good in it. Could be wrong, but... I think I'll take the run. I could be wrong, but I feel like the combo ends up usually being pretty win-more. And not good in some matchups. And I think there's a good chance like the deck is just better off without it. I could be wrong, though. That's, I guess, my hot take. Like, I was playing, like, some, like, Saga Blade before, and I didn't really miss the Thopter Sword combo. Yeah, I also don't feel like you'd really want Yorion in those decks either, necessarily. I also think that the Oswald Fiddlebender deck is, like, the best of these artifact mid-range decks, though. Because, like, your curve is way lower, you're more consistent, and your mana base is way better. Magic Gates Feed with Ambusher? I mean, I've been playing some Ambusher and, like, Bant Rhinos, but I didn't see that video, no. It's, like, the card's good against Ragavan, yeah. It's kind of, like, not good against anything else. That's the problem. Do you consume any Magic content? Well, I watch every Legacy video. Or most of them. Yeah, I do. I do watch still a lot of CFB videos. I've watched a lot of CFB content, and this is not just, you know, sponsor plug. I do really like Legacy videos, actually. Oh wait, hold on. Oh no, I wanted to grief. Okay, moving on. I watch a lot of streams. Like, you know, I'm subscribed to a lot of Magic streamers. Eyelash, Everrose, Yellow Hat. I've been watching a lot of lately. Yeah, I think if I'm consuming YouTube content, it's like either Jim Davis or it's Channel Fireball. That's basically it. And then I watch like a decent amount of streams. Like especially like after my stream, I'll throw a Magic stream up for some background noise. Yeah, LSV videos are great too, for sure. Bosch and Roll. I maybe see like 1 or 2 Bosch and Roll videos. I'm not super familiar. What do I like about Eyelash content? I think Eyelash is like the most innovative streamer we've had in a really long time. Where she's like out here doing like live content, which is really great. She did like a 24-hour stream recently. Or I don't know if she finished it, but she attempted it. But she's really out here trying really hard. And, you know, I just always think about that Croaky's tweet, that Magic content is lazy and boring to watch. And Eyelash's content is interesting and innovative. Yeah, Eyelash is also just like good vibes, good energy. She's out here grinding, trying hard. Working hard. Okay, so I kind of like hardcast Grief and figure out what to do with the Ephemerates. Discard an Archon to hand size, hopefully. Fuck. Guess I'm not discarding the hand size. I'll take Ephemerate Witness here. I could take their whole hand if I pitch the Grief, I guess. That might be good because if I don't take the Solitude, they can Solitude in response to my Ephemerate next turn. Mike, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate you. When am I getting interviewed by Eyelash? I guess what she asked me. We could have had extra Grief in play. Oh, Ephemerate the Grief. Oh, of course. Of course, that's way better. Yeah. Oops. Mike, you have 5 months. Appreciate you. What am I doing? The Butterfly Cheeks? I might actually do it. Sounds kind of fun. Let's see what they do in response to Teferi. Yeah, Eyelash is good. Like, it's been really cool to see Eyelash, like, pick up in Master decks, too. I've been liking watching that a lot. Six. Cards in hand. Mulldrifter up to 7. If I minus Teferi, I can discard Archon to hand size. This Rin ultimate is pretty scary. Let me do this first. Do I just bounce my own Mulldrifter? I feel like that's... I think I just have, like, not enough board presence. Tough stuff. Yeah, if I just had that second Grief, I'm just in so much better shape. Big mistake. Sorry for the cough, chat. I'm fighting through, though. I'm fighting through. I'm feeling, like, a little better, though. Like, you know how that is when you have, like, a really sore throat? And then you're feeling better. And then you start to, like, cough a little bit because it's just, like... And now instead of your throat being, like, really sore, it's just, like, prickly. Does that make sense? Okay, I need my Mulldrifter to attack Rin, so I'm not blocking. Bounce the Rin 6 with Teferi. No, Teferi doesn't bounce Planeswalkers. Okay, so another hand is Yorion Mystery card. Let me Thoughtseize here. See what we're playing against. Okay. I think it was a really big mistake for them to attack with Endurance instead of Witness here. Because now they can't ultimate their Rin. Oh, whoops. It should have bounced Planeswalkers, yeah. If anything Teferi Time Raveler needs, it's a buff. They sacked the Wrenn and 6. Okay, it's a deal, I guess. So I guess I'm hardcasting Archon next turn. I don't think I'm playing Grief this turn because I can't discard anything. Actually, I don't think that matters that much. This lets me attack with the Mulldrifter a bit easier. Yeah, these lands have been getting me a little bit. Just a little bit. I know chat hates them usually. Man, on April Fool's Day, Wizards, if you're listening, which I know you're not, but if I was in charge of Wizards marketing, I would announce on April Fool's, like, unban Oko on Historic, unban all the cards, and then buff them. Just buff all of them. Buff Omnath, buff Teferi, buff Oko. That'd be so funny. Alright, good ham. This is a Plains. This is a Plains. Oko can now elk lands. That would be so funny. I think Hallowed Fountain here sends like a stronger signal that I'm just a dumb control deck. When I play Prismatic Ending, people want me to kill lands. That would be a pretty big buff to Prismatic Ending, I think. I don't think I've ever had anybody suggest that line here. I would hope not. Yeah, I think against Wooded Foothills, I'm gonna think that they're not on that much counter magic, so I'm gonna go for Persist. I think they're playing Rhinos. Probably not living in with the Triome. Sacred Foundry, untapped. Oh, it's creativity, okay. Yeah, shout out to the Remand stands out there. Alright, pretty good. Solitude's pretty good against them. Teferi's pretty good. Let me try a Mulldrifter and an Mending, probably. Isn't the 8 card version better than this one? I'm not sure. I don't know. Like, I just haven't played this deck in a long time, and I picked it up, and I've been winning with it. Like, a big part of the reason why I think the Wandering Mind version was really good against Jund Saga specifically, which was, like, super popular when I was playing the Wandering Mind version. And that deck is, like, a lot less popular now. There's just, like, so much nuance. There's so much nuance with, like, magic cards and decisions and everything when it comes to this game. And I know everybody wants me to give them, like, this is better than this is the best deck, but it's just, like, so complicated. I don't know. It's tough. I'm sorry, chat. Keep failing you. I don't think I'm supposed to grief there. Now that you persist. I wish I had, but if they reband this, that's fine. Whew. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like there's I agree big time there's not enough big events. Like even the challenges are like somewhat small. And like leagues are really hard to like derive information from. And like another excuse me, sorry. Another big part of this problem is that modern is a really open format too. Like you can really do well with a lot of different things. And so like figuring out what the best thing to do or like figuring out how much better one deck is than another is so difficult because the format is very open, you know. I think we hold up the Ephemerate here. Yeah, I agree it's a really good environment for content creators. Alright, second Teferi would be pretty good against this this line here. Next. I'll go and get my trigger, I guess. Just make him sack the dwarf token. Okay, and then I can reanimate the Archon with this next couple turns. So they made a pretty big mistake here, and they played Bloodstained Mire and not Wooded Foothills. So if they had played the Wooded Foothills that I knew about, I would have evoked the Grief. But now I know that their hand is just a land. I get to Rites here instead. They could have also made a token and kept their Teferi around. That was also probably better. Did I ever go back to Sealy Reanimator? Yeah, I wasn't honestly a big fan of it, to be honest. Like, the Sealy combo just felt a little underpowered, even if it was synergistic. Better in theory than in paper. Yeah. This hand is good if it draws a land. I think I'm going to keep. I don't like that I don't have white mana for ending. This hand also can draw Unmarked Grave. But if you can pitch Solitude, too, if we stumble a little bit. Yeah, land is easy to draw. Yeah! This is play against Living End. Best matchup. I could maybe have Solitude the Grief here. That was actually... I might still do that in response to the Evoke trigger. I kind of like that. Obviously, like, our draw might not be that good against them. This is the best matchup. You can still lose to it, but it's just so good. Like Unmarked Grave is like 2 mana to win the game 1. I've never exiled Solitude, or I've never evoked Solitude in that spot before, but I think it was correct. Definitely a weird spot. And Mingu was right. A land is in fact easy to draw. They also haven't been cycling anything, which is a bit weird. I guess I should jam this. I'll plus the play around Curator, I think. Who is Mini? Mini no Me is a Brazilian grinder who plays a lot of Living End. And they've been like right on our tail like the entire time. Like people act like Mini no Ne has like came out of absolutely nowhere, but that's just not the case. It's a pretty good one. Well, I was hopefully we can save some of this luck for the rest of this league. I think we used a little bit too much luck up here. Oh no, the luck we're using up too much. We're using up far too much luck here. Too much luck doesn't exist. More wise words from Mingu. I mean, I'm not Tony. I don't have infinite luck, infinite wells of luck. Oh, I bet you'd enjoy the story, Mengu. A friend of mine bought like 3 $5 deck boxes from a thrift store yesterday, and in them was like a playset of Badlands and Earthcraft, Recurring Nightmare, a bunch of cards. But the playset of Badlands was like the most valuable. It was crazy. And he just wanted the deck boxes. Yeah, serious. Yeah. And this guy is like he's already the luckiest person I know. Like he was in 2 car accidents with police officers where he was totally fine but got big settlements from the lawsuits. And he also like was the secretary of a League of Legends team that ended up winning a national championship, and he just got a full ride to college. Classic Tony. think last time I cut the rights, I feel like you almost never search for it in this matchup. And I think I trimmed on Mulldrifters. Trim a Solitude, trim 2 Mulldrifter, trim Ephemerate. One more cut, maybe. Oh, it's Heroes of the Storm. I guess I don't know what that is. Trim another Ephemerate, maybe. Maybe they'll play. I'll play another Mulldrifter. I went to Windstar with Tony. I can confirm Jeff I probably did this. Went to roulette twice. One time he actually did his bet wrong. It didn't hit his number. Then he placed his bet and he hit his number. It's classic Tony. What deck does Tony play? Okay, I'm not joking. Tony plays Burn and main decks 4 copies of Thunderous Wrath. And there was like at FNM, Tony would like it was like 3 weeks in a row. I would play turn 2 Tasigur, and Tony would just miracle Thunderous Wrath kill my Tasigur, and I would just get crushed. Yeah, I'm not joking. Tony, of course, like we always say this. If we were Tony, we would play Thunderous Wrath and Burn too. If we were Tony, we'd play Thunderous Wrath and Burn too. So I really want to grief them to play around Endurance. I also want to hold on to the Unmarked Grave, so maybe I'll Mending and try to find another black card. Okay, I think I'm gonna pass. Maybe griefing now is good. If they live again and just get the 10 points of power, it is beatable. Maybe not with this hand. Yeah, maybe it was too greedy not to grief there. Architects of Will, full Foundation Breaker living in. I'll take the Architects. Oh, they get to scry. And then I guess I'm gonna get Emissary. Have 3 looks at a Persist. Hey Sanchez. Play Blue-Ray Burn Legacy with Git Probe and Thunderous Wrath to cast a turn 1 on the play. It's pretty good. Dude, Miracle on turn 1 is actually kind of crazy. Play a special Tony League with Burn deck when I'm not racing, maybe. Interested in Tony samples? Yeah, you can send it to the email, Sanchez. I'll take a look. We can maybe talk details. Okay, I'm gonna thin because it's kind of all or nothing here. And it turns out to be all, huh? They may have found a borrower, but game 3. Still a very good matchup. I think I messed up by not pitching Grief that one turn. Yeah, I think on the play I'm interested in like an extra Mulldrifter, trim on Ephemerate some more. So this has Leyline, Thoughtseize, Grief, Ephemerate, but no White Source. I think this is a keep. Put a Moles to 6. If we name instant, do we stabilize? I don't think so. I think we get raced. Yeah, pretty easy to take that borrower, I think. I don't do donation decks anymore, Crabtree. Okay, opponent naturally found a land. They haven't cycled Street Wraith yet. I'm just gonna pass back. Do you blame us for Sparktide? No, I don't think that you should need it there. It's mostly for like the mirror and living end. Which maybe you don't need it. Maybe you don't need the ley lines in the sideboard. I feel like they're kind of unnecessary. But like I'm also like the only other sideboard card like I really want to play is like one Priesthood Fell Rites. But maybe I've got too many ley lines. Too much graveyard hate. Dredge was also like popping up for like a little bit, but Dredge is also not the worst matchup. Okay, so I think I'll take the Force of Negation and then the Endurance. Been doing really well with this deck lately. Take the Dispute, I think. I think I'll discard Mulldrifter Mending here. So they have Grief, Violent Outburst, Shardless Agent. Get an Archon in the yard, I guess. Red-Black has definitely been the deck I've got the most trophies with this season. I have, I've been keeping a record of all the trophies on my Twitter. You can take a look there. Yeah, Solitude is really important to the deck. I don't think there's a really good replacement, unfortunately. I did cut the rights in this matchup. I think I'll Grief pitch the Grave then. Take the Grief. Could maybe have taken an Agent. Opponent doesn't seem to be too fond of 3-mana 2/2s. I love a Grey Ogre personally. Grey Ogre? I hardly know her. Hopefully I didn't draw Endurance. Okay. Different Black Guide. Yeah, there is one on CFP Pro. Yeah, this is the second time I've trimmed the rights and regretted it in this matchup. But it's like, they do the work for you a lot of the time, you know what I mean? Let's see if they found a Dispute. Gonna bounce this. Opponent hits me with the GGs. Bounce the Grey Ogre too strong. 3-0 again. We've been really good at getting to 3-0 with this deck. Yesterday we were 3-0 twice with it. We just lost. We lost last league at 4-0. We've been doing really well with this deck, but just haven't been able to convert. And then the flagstones end up not looking that good to me, and I stopped working on the deck. Burn's a good matchup too. Do I want to leave up Solitude Ephemerate? I think no. If they do have Eidolon, we can still Solitude Ephemerate next turn. Trying to think when I want to do this. Sharkat? Okay, we can get a Sharkat. I think I'm gonna do it on their turn because they might have a 1-mana creature, right? I think deck's fine without Flagstones. What if you just played 1 Flagstones? Esther was like reorganizing the hats recently. I'll get it real quick. Ninjutsu and Emrakul and Blightsteel. It won't be competitive, but Saffron Olive will do it and it'll be really fun. Yeah, just making them use the bolt here I think is fine. Skewer me down to 13. I think I'm supposed to Mulldrifter here. I know I can Mending and gain life, but I also really like to find an Archon before I Mending. Maybe just digging deeper before you Mending is good. Okay, there's an Archon. Do you watch Saffron Olive? I used to watch a lot of Seth. I haven't really that much in a while. I don't know. But I used to watch a ton of Seth. I think it's like like a lot of it's like the stream schedule doesn't like line up too well anymore too for me personally. Yeah, I also occasionally watch like a YouTube video or two, but not as much as I used to. Nothing but love, of course. The 3 Stony in the sideboard for Hammer. Therefore, decks that play Relic or Spellbomb in addition to Hammer, where Hammer's Graveyard Hate is also, like, they often have some artifact-based Graveyard Hate to tutor for that Stony shuts off, like either Lantern or Spellbomb or Relic. But I bring in usually 2 Stony Silence against Blue-Red Murktide, because they have Relics, and then against Jund Saga, I bring in all 3, because they have, like, 3 main deck Spellbombs. And then Stony's also good against the Tron variants that have Relic against you. And you can bring it against Belcher. Belcher is, like, kind of a tough matchup, and so Stony helps there as well. Yeah. Okay, so we'll bring in the ending. I usually bring in Emissary if I think they might have Sanctifier in Vac. Bring in the Fatal Pushes. Cut the Mulldrifters, I think has been my recent. No, sorry, cut the 3 Teferis into Mulldrifter. Yeah. Yeah, the Stony Silences, they started to creep up. It was like 1, then 2, and then 3. And I think it's just one of the best sideboard cards. Yeah, I think maybe we should be cutting the ley lines. I'm not sure. It feels like I just don't run into many mirrors anymore. I kind of want like the first priest in the sideboard for control, but control's like not that bad a matchup. That's, I guess, the tension. Alright, let's keep this. Oh, I need the shortcut. Sorry, I need the shortcut. So much going on. Oh, I ran over the shortcut with my wheel, and so this eye is like a little a little wonky now. Dude, this hand is very good. Heroical Recall in sideboard and blue decks with the Fitting Hammer being popular. Well, it kind of depends on the blue deck, because like most blue decks play another color in addition to being blue. And those colors very often have better sideboard options. You know what I mean? Okay, so I think I'm going to Solitude the Eidolon, then end of turn Mending, untap Persist. Yeah, this matchup's really good. Don't want to get too cocky, but this feels, kind of feels like game over. Okay, this is our second time in a row being 4-0. Last time we lost to Yawgmoth, we've bounced back. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. You guys get your points in. Leagues are going quickly, too. This version's so bad versus Mel. Well, we crushed it yesterday. It really just depends on like how many, you know, just how many surgicals do they draw, right? I mean, I'm gonna keep this on 6 on the play. Opponent's revealed no companion. 18 days ago playing Oops All Spells. I wish I had seen this a second ago. Were they playing? They were not playing Kahira. Can Solitude Ephemerate beat Oops? It might be able to. I just don't know what to put back. I'll put back the Mending. Go back like the Mulldrifter. Put back the Mulldrifter. They were on Living End yesterday. Well, that's a really good matchup. Okay, looks like definitely not Oops All Spells. I would have kept the Mulldrifter if I suspected Living End. But this is a good draw. Probably should have actually fetched a little different. Force Pitch Bar. Okay, Living End again. Very good matchup. I really wish I kept that Mulldrifter though, but obviously you don't know what you're playing against in the blind. Riverwinder having hexproof is also an issue if I'm going to be like in on Solitude this game. And obviously, like, despite this matchup being good, like, we can still lose. Like, it's not that hard to lose. Okay, the Grief Pitch Living End here. They discard my Solitude, which kind of surprises me. Cycle Curator of Mysteries. Rights, okay. I think I'm going to main phase this. If they want to force and go down to one card, I think that's fine with me. I've got a good card to discard. Okay, Unmarked Grave is very good here. See if they go. I don't feel like they can really go for Living In when they know I've got the Ephemerate in my hand. Why not casting Solitude? I did it last time. I want to hold the white card this time. Last time I had Prismatic Ending. This time I want to hold the Ephemerate. I think I cast the Unmarked Grave over the Mulldrifter. It's like a little bit worse against Force of Negation. They might just be like forced to Violent Outburst here too. Cool. Tony Calzoni, thank you for the 13 months. So they discard my Mulldrifter. And I've got a Rights in the yard for the Unmarked Grave. I have an Archon in the yard. Future Living Ends are not going to be very good for my opponent. They might have another Force. That could be bad if they do force my Rights. But also like the Lifelink on Solitude is pretty good at racing here. The Hexproof on the Riverwinder is definitely their saving grace. Take 5 down to 12. No Rebound Ephemerate. Untap land lets me Rights. Interesting draw. Cycle Curator. Maybe I should have played this first. I'm not sure. Just draw a card. This probably eats an attack from the Riverwinder at least. Get to draw the card. Didn't find a land yet. It's possible I'm supposed to like chump block with the Solitude this turn. I think it's probably better to just like let the Teferi die on this board specifically. I think I'm gonna flash back the Mending, look for the land or Persist if they force a negation. Ugh. Still no land. Do get to gain life at least. Main phasing that because we've got like a bunch of Concealed Courtyards, right? Okay, hit me for 5 down to 15. We draw. Tapped Concealed Courtyard. Think I just play it, attack and pass. Probably end of turn Mending. I mean they're gonna need a lot more creatures to beat me with another Living End with me having 2 Archons and a Mulldrifter. Isn't it worth it to try to find Persist plus untap land? Maybe. Probably. Okay, let's Grief here to play around Force of Negation. I like that. Maybe should have attacked first. Not attacking first, a little bit worse against Petty Theft. Didn't think of the 2 months, appreciate you. I mean, I don't think this works out for them. I could be wrong. Yeah, they have to sacrifice 2 of these creatures. They lose 6. They discard their hand, basically. I gain 6. Draw 2. Petus, thank you for the Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Yeah, maybe they were beating 1 Archon here. Almost definitely not beating 2. backup Living End. I mean, I have Grief on the stack, so like they have to top deck another Living End. Like they're going down to 0 cards in hand. They did have the Force of Negation. Oh, they do have the Curators. The Curators lets them scry a lot. They get to scry 6. So that is a good point. You put a card on the bottom. And another card on the bottom. Yeah, I mean, they did have the agent, but they knew if they cast the Living End, or they should have known that they discard their whole hand. But they did top deck another one, and they do get to wait. They're out of Living Ends. They're out of Living Ends. Let's freaking go! Oh man, this matchup is pretty good for us, but it's also wild. So I know I keep boarding out the Unburial Rites in this matchup and regretting it. I might still board it out though. It's like I feel like it makes a lot of sense in theory, where like you just want to Unmarked Grave and keep your fatties in the yard. You don't like really need rights that much. I think I'm actually gonna board out all the Ephemerates. Maybe I kept in one last time. This is what I did last time. I feel like I like this plan. I feel like it makes sense to me, despite it coming up sometimes. You will still get the rights. They could also be the Rhino Juke. I mean, I don't think I'm supposed to prepare for that game. This game, right? Like, I mean, you can still beat it, right? You still have Archon, you still have Emissary. Yeah, I think this is the way. You can lose to Endurance Living. Yeah, you can lose. Yeah, obviously you could lose in this matchup, but you're just like pretty favored. And then we have 4 Grief, 4 Teferi, and 4 Thoughtseize against Endurance, which is like the most you can possibly have to hedge against it. You can't really do anything else. I like this hand. We have Grief Ephemerate, and then we also have Unmarked Grave. Good to dodge Grief there. Probably can get basic planes. Maybe it's good to... Yeah, I'll go basic planes. Seems pretty free. Why no thin Persist over Rites? Persist is way better than Rites. Like, you basically can never cut Persist, I think. It's just, like, the best card in the deck. So they did have a Grief, but they didn't have a black card to pitch. I think I will... I could take... I mean, this card is, like, dead against me. I think I'll take the Grief. I don't really want them to Grief my Unmarked Grave away. Oh, they had Street Wraith. Well, they might have drawn the Grief off the Street Wraith, right? I guess I take the Agents. Dispute's kind of a pain, but I think it's, I think we can play around it. Huh. Well, now that I drew this, I really want to get Faithful Mending, but I think I should just get an Archon in the yard. Because I know they have Dispute, so, like, the Mending is going to be kind of hard to hold up here. Or to resolve, rather. Okay. Do I run Teferi into Mystical Dispute? Probably. I'm a great for Mending. The problem was the Dispute. Like, I could have taken the Dispute, but then, like, they're like agents online. Okay, so their hand is Foundation Breaker, 2 mystery cards, right? Yeah. Interesting draw. Yeah, I keep forgetting to give the MTG bot the lifetime sub. Can't remember how to do it, to be honest. Oh yeah, they have no green mana. That's a good point. Okay, well now I can get a Mending. I think my Archon is beating this graveyard here by itself. Probably. We'll see. Hopefully, right? Okay. Grief, pitch, Living End. Their hand is Foundation Breaker. Oh wait, oh sorry. Foundation Breaker hits Leyline. I can't. Sorry, yeah, it does hit Leyline. Duh. Okay, let me bookmark this. Oh, it is already bookmarked. Okay. Oh, I'll get to it later. I don't want to do it while I'm streaming, though. I'm an upkeep mending. Not funny, Grant. Don't joke about that. But we got the trophy, huh? Not very good packs. Let's freaking go. Tied up again. Feel pretty good after taking most of the weekend off. And we opened a Vorpal Sword. Very powerful D&D item. Back on top of the leaderboard for the time being. I still have yet to like actually maintain a 1 trophy lead this entire race. Mean is also like, you know, right on our tails. Ginger's been taking it, or I don't know. Ginger's still been.